Greetings, dear precious spirit, soul, divine being that you are, right there, right where you are. All the power is. So take a nice deep breath. Breathe into your heart. I don't know if you've been practicing your singing, your humming. Very good, gets the resonators going. My topic, mining your abundant resources. Mining your abundant resources. Let's even call it minding your abundant resources. See, interesting how the word mine and minding, and a mine with gold and gemstones and all of those goodies. Your abundance is unlimited. You're an eternal being. There's no birth or death for you. That's the good and the bad news, too, because if you are miserable, you think, well, if I leave my body, then I'll feel better. But no, you're taking your subtle body with you. That's the cause of the problem, because you take the mind. And that mind then is divided into categories, conscious, subconscious, unconscious. So there are programs operating just like in a computer below the level of consciousness and awareness that can be mining, taking out the resources of your information. Okay, information. You want to be able to mine your own abundant resources. And what happens is, in the intellectual process that is taught in educational systems, it's always about learned information. It's not about what you know, because you have to memorize. And that's why I remember in school, you would cram at the last to memorize, because after that you forget about it all after a while, because you just memorized it. What you know by your own experience, what you know by your own discernment, not that you can always trust your senses, because there's optical illusions. We hear something, but we're associating it with something we've heard before, but it could maybe not even be that way at all. But yet we're discerning it and including all that in making our calculations or using our logic. You want spiritual logic and spiritual reasoning, not intellectual logic and intellectual reasoning. But we have been methodically educated and trained and programmed to fit a certain, what would you say, a certain characteristic, a certain state of being, which is very, very limited, so that we then believe that we're the most advanced that we've ever been, which is not true, because people have been methodically depowered. You would call it lifetime after lifetime. So the process of forgetting who we are, and the process of putting all of our faith, hope, whatever it may be, expectation on the outer world, as if it's out there from someone else, because someone else has more than you do of who we are. No. When my talk I did on you're not equal to anyone doesn't mean that you don't have the same divine powers, qualities, and abilities that everybody else has intrinsically. No, we come from the same fabric, you might say it, the source of who we are. And then what happens, it interferes, is the mind, because then people have beliefs, they have trauma in their life, they have disappointments, they have expectations. These are moods, these are emotions, these are feelings that are generated by thoughts and beliefs that the person has accepted and internalized as true about them and absolute. And then we, because of who we are, have the power and ability that we give life to, life to concepts that are just sounds, when we are life, and we are eternal life. That's who we are. Life does not happen out there. That is not your life. You are life. You are the divine. You are this eternal being. This is who you are. So when you want to mine your resources of whatever it may be, it's you want how you start to use it instead of saying I can't do that, instead of saying oh I don't know how, instead of saying well nobody told me, and giving all of your. I remember when I was in seminary, and they didn't pay much attention to me because, being a woman, we thought, well, we don't, we want to get some good men out there. But I knew what I was going to do. And I said that didn't bother me because that was their limitation. And I knew who I was. But what happened was that finding that in, they had all kinds of limitations that they were putting on me in seminary. But I already knew, I was already practicing these teachings, and I knew not to believe anybody or anything else other than my own inner knowing and truth and that divine truth, because wherever you are, God is there. That means wherever you walk is holy ground. That means wherever you are right now, you still have your full powers and potential, capabilities that we haven't even tapped into, you haven't even tapped into, because people say, well, I don't have it. My sister's talented, I'm not. Or my brother, he's a musician, so I don't play. And it's like when I even tell people, you need to sing, to hum, because sound is what this world is manufactured from. This is a reality. It's electric. There's electricity is everywhere. And we produce electricity by our thoughts. We are the producers of electricity because we are divine energy. We emanate our own light, which is not the light you see around here. It is our own beingness. Okay? So you mine it you have to dig for it. You have to actually know that you already have it. It's like singing. Okay, then you want to practice. You might want to take some lessons, not to make you a singer, but to help you to learn how to use your voice. And when I took the lessons from the maestro David Kyle in Seattle for years and studied with him, he trained my voice because I wanted to experience the fullness of my own voice. And now, as I'm also digging deeper into all of our potential and resources and who we are, how important sound is, because this is a sound reality. And that sound creates thoughts are words. Words are sounds, even if it's silent, quiet, you still hear it as a sound. Sounds are energy. Sounds are vibration, and vibrations are energy, and energy glows is electricity. And where those neuron connections that are being made through the crystal brain are when we, are reacting to the words, to the statements that we have been taught to accept as truth, and the meanings and how that applies to us. So there is a constant reaction that is going on with us emotionally, that some words we dread, some situations we're afraid of, some people we're afraid of, oh no, I don't want that to ever happen to me. And with this terror and fear that people have, that they're controlled constantly by outer individuals giving them all of these lies that they're accepting, that you have to have a lot of courage to be able to mine your resources when everybody around you is limiting themselves and limiting their resources and singing the poor me, life is miserable, I'm a loser, I'm not good enough, I'll never have enough, nobody loves me, I guess I'll eat some worms. And some people are eating worms, and you don't need to eat worms. People have no idea. So you mine your resources by realizing that you're full of talents and abilities and energies. You're a divine being. Don't extinguish yourself. Stop limiting yourself. And people say, well, I don't know how to do it. Well, have you tried? Have you looked at it? Well, I'm not the best like someone else. No, you need to do that. It isn't about the theatrical production of the world that you've got some singer has got a ton, billions of dollars, and they light the stage and they come out in their little skimpy out, whatever it may be, and we think this is talent. No, it isn't about listening to these people. It isn't about giving your power to listening to their songs that have words in them, that are programming you and limiting you and all of this. You have to, what is self-love other than self-honoring, self-appreciation, that you're with you eternally. It's all about you. It isn't about them. And the resources you have are more abundant than any gemstone mine, any gold, any silver, anything on the outside, because it isn't it out there. You are. So you mine your resources by knowing that all is capable from you. And then you confront it, you deal with it, you get there. Like, you know, it's like people might have so many problems, they don't know where to start. Well, start somewhere, like with the first page, the first paper. Look at it. And then when you start to look at it, it takes away the mystery of it. And then you begin it. And if you want to sing, you work with the voice. Or if you want to paint, or you want to teach, or you want, whatever it may be, was in your heart. But see, you get the people in the world trained that they're going to be computer operators for the rest of their lives, that they're going to work in a factory and produce cheap crap, junk that nobody needs and nobody wants, but it's just a little thrill for a moment. And take your powers back and your abilities back and your manifesting powers back and invest in your consciousness. That which is, why do invest in the temporary that's changing and it's going to go away? Invest in your own consciousness, that the books that you read, what you're watching, all of these videos, there's over 700, maybe 800 by now, videos that we have, which is of truth, to help you to come to your own choices, to realize who you are and what you are, and to have a magnificent, glorious life in every level, regardless of what it looks like now, regardless of the past, regardless of what your family has taught you, regardless of what they're saying on the media and the television and the internet and the radio and the media. Stop that. And you'll realize fools' names and fools' faces are always seen in public places. You get the most people who are the most infected by the mind virus because they have such a need to be on view constantly in the news, in the world, validate, give them power, attention, all of this stuff to make everybody else feel insignificant when they're insignificant. That this is your life to live as you choose, because you are life and you are abundant in every way. So, first of all, realize that, abundantly supplied, and then begin, start it, do. And that's all you have to do. You already have it. Use it. Okay? So take a nice deep breath. And remember, I do counseling on the phone. We've got retreats and workshops here. You can use all these videos. I write columns for different magazines. I have my books out there. What you think of me is none of my business. Great for everybody. How to have more in a have-not world. Dare to be great. Love and power in a world without limits. A woman's guide to the goddess within. Live your bliss. Oh my goodness. Dare to be great. We've got all of these things. So their knowledge is there. It's for you. All you have to do is take it and receive it and apply it. And wow, all is possible for you. Accept it. Know it. Because it's the truth.